Once outside, we scanned the horizon, trying to orient ourselves toward the volcano.
Excuse me.
Oh, named character. Hi. I whirl around and come face to face with a woman wearing just enough fabric to cover her essentials and nothing more. I'd say it's definitely a little more than that. I mean, be a bit more. It's a bit more generous. I mean, at least like her arms, for example, are covered. There's this scarf thing, and I've seen way skimpier outfits. I mean, this is sure it leaves a lot of vital organs completely exposed, but I mean, I said I've seen worse. Her long brown hair is tied up in a ponytail, which falls down her neck and frames up her very ample chest. Whatever. Don't look at her boobs. No shit, the plot thickens. Who are you? I'm tempted to say the plot thickens, actually. But let's be courteous here. Courteous. I get straight to the point. Who are you? Before I have a chance to speak, Zach asks the question that's on everyone's mind because apparently I was staring at her chest the whole time.
Who are you?
Yeah, that. Zach steps in front of Amelia, who frowns and steps away. I guess he's taking this bodyguarding business really seriously. I mean, good on him for that, I guess. Liana holds herself stiffly, ready to move if necessary. The woman salutes.
Car Noir, treasure hunter extraordinaire.
Yeah, I cyclically knew your name already somehow. Treasure hunter, right? Are you sure not just a thief? What was just doing? Zach narrows his eyes. Uh-huh.
What do you want with us?
Well, I couldn't help but overhear that you're interested in the fire temple.
And you want something from the fire temple, don't you?
How did you hear us when we were inside?
She was spying. She tapped her nose knowingly.
I have very sensitive hearing.
What you mean is you run up against the door and just like pressed up against it listening, weren't you?
I fail to understand how our interests are of relevance to you.
She wants something from the temple.
I was just getting to that.
Uh-huh.
You see, I've come to offer an extension of friendship.
You're being diplomatic about it, I guess. Although I'm not, well, actually, I'm not sure if this is diplomacy or more if you just think we're idiots. But, okay, go on. Well, Liana and Zach raise an eyebrow.
Or at least an extension of mutual benefit.
There we go. That's a bit more honest of you. Okay.
It's true that the villagers maintain the fire temple, but from what I've discovered, they are unaware of the temple's secret passage.
Secret passage to what, though?
If you're interested in the energy of the temple, I can guarantee that's where you'll find it.
And also something you're in it for?
If the villagers don't know about the secret passage, how did you find it?
Snooping or some ulterior source?
It's all a part of the treasure hunting gig. You have to be looking for it to find it.
Then why haven't you gone in? Is it because it's dangerous and you're looking for patsies? Kara winks and gives us a thumbs up.
The best part is that I've already disarmed or made a note of most of the traps in there.
Then why do you need us? There are traps in this temple. It's a fucking fire temple. What do you think? At least it's not a water temple. We're gonna find one of those, aren't we?
The temples are a sanctuary for the elementals, but any place that is easily accessible is sure to attract all types. There are measures set in place to protect the spirit from those who wish to harm it.
Uh-huh.
Like I said, I've disarmed most of the traps, but not all. There is one magical barrier at the end of the tunnel which I've not yet been able to pass.
And
I don't have magic, but you do.
gestures to Leon and Amelia.
If you can magic that barrier away, then that's at least one step closer to finding your energy.
Zach crosses his arms and glares at Kara.
How does that benefit you?
That's what I've been wondering this whole time. She wants something from in the temple. She grins.
All I'm interested in are the artifacts and relics. From the sounds of it, you guys are more interested in something else. Hence, mutually beneficial.
She wants to raid the temple.
So, what do you think?
Look at the rest of my group. Wordlessly, we huddle closer together and whisper. Does it? I don't trust her. I don't. Plenty of reasons for her to join. There's two. Doesn't really matter. It kind of... I don't trust her. I don't know if we can trust her. I mean, she conveniently overheard our conversation.
Like I said, I happen to have very keen hearing.
I knew it. I knew she'd be listening in regardless. I glanced sharply at her and she winks at me.
I must concede that I am impressed by her resourcefulness. It is plainly evident that she is not a native to Embermist, which means she somehow discerned the location on her own.
Discerned. Yeah, but again, she wants to steal something from the temple. Should we really be allowing her to follow us? I mean, if we go in and she tags along after us anyway... That's a really good point. I never said she wasn't, or that she couldn't be useful. I said I don't trust her. Leona looks thoughtful.
As a treasure hunter, her tracking skills could come in handy in the future.
Okay, so we're just gonna go off just gonna assume that she's gonna help us. Okay, fine. We all stare at Zach. He shrugs.
Do what you want.
He's just washing his hands with this, which is what I was suggesting we'd basically do. Is if we went in and she just followed us, we wouldn't be culpable. If she tagged along without our permission. That sounds like a yes to me. Zach doesn't respond. He just fixes his steely gaze on me. What?
So does this mean we're agreed to join up with Kara?
Majority rules apparently say yes. We all nod.
Hi.
Oh, right, that. The Pongo sits in the middle of our circle and blinks happily. Where do you even go when you're in hiding?
Boy.
Oh.
Let's go tell Kara.
How do you even fit in my pocket like that? Oh, sure, Carla, right. Okay. We turn around and Kara stands right behind Leona, her face only inches away. Leona lets out a startled gasp. Yeah, fucking figures. Jeez, what is she, some ninja? Rogue, thief, ninja. Those are kunai, aren't they? Kara rubs her hands excitedly.
All right, this will be fun.
Uh-huh.
Wait, we didn't give you our answer yet.
She already heard our answer. She was listening, Leona.
Oh, sorry.
She sits back and gestures for Leona to continue. Polite, I suppose, as opposed to just going, well, I already heard your answer. Leona speaks awkwardly. I guess she feels a little silly saying, well, Kara somehow already knows. What do you mean somehow yet?
Well, we decided to take you up on your offer.
She's like, oh! Oh, I never would have guessed, right? Put on that, come on. At least a little show for us. Kara nods, so does her...
Excellent. Since we're going to be working together, first things first. You all know my name, but I don't know yours.
You don't want to know mine.
I'm Leanna.
Mage Knight from the guild?
She nods.
I am Amelia Estelle, a mage caster from the Mage Academy.
And probably a robot or something. She has no... she barely shows emotion. Kara... Stop it!
A student to become a mage caster? But you look just like a teenager.
It's an anime. Amelia cocks her head to the side.
It is natural that my physical appearance would represent my age.
Oh, never mind. She looks at Amelia with respect.
That is pretty impressive. Who's next?
She looks at Zach.
Zach.
She chuckles.
Very clearly a mercenary.
Why? Because he's stoic and doesn't want to talk? That's kind of stereotypical. And I'm... Porn. Just leave it at that, please. It's pricking me enough as it is. Her green eyes study me, and although she's very clearly examining me, probably trying to wonder, really? That's your name? Is it, though? Yes, unfortunately. I don't feel uncomfortable under her stare. I feel uncomfortable for a very particular reason, and it's because I just had to...
Now that that's out of the way.
Uh-huh.
Boy.
Oh, right, yeah. Kara steps back and views the Pongo on my feet.
You have a bongo! How cute!
Oh, you like it. Good. That's 1 point in your favor. She reaches down and pats him on the head. You mean she pats it. Him. He is the head! He beams at her touch.
And what's your name?
Boy.
What do you think? She glances at the rest of us, but none of us make a move to
Oh,
answer.
is he not a part of your group?
He is. Sort of.
He insinuates upon himself, and I don't mind.
And you haven't named him yet?
Leon and I shuffle uncomfortably. Zach remains unchanged while Amelia frowns.
A pongo is a wild creature.
Kara straightens and pats Amelia in the head, much to her dismay.
If you say so. Okay, are we ready to get going?
We remember our ascent, and then Kara leads us out of the city. Okay. As we walk, another ominous rumble sends butterflies to my stomach. We're all gonna fucking die. I can't shake out the feeling we are literally walking into fire. Took you an hour to think of that comparison, that metaphor or whatever, didn't you? Not metaphor, compare. No, it's not a no. I glance at theirs who seem unfazed. I guess it's just me who has common sense when it strikes me. Pushing my insecurities, that's not an insecurity. I fall down, I silently follow the group towards the temple. Just as Elder Isom, I don't remember, noted, the temple is a short walk out of the village on a well-worn dirt path. The road is mostly empty, with only one or two travelers coming back towards the village. The temple is an open structure with a roaring fire in the middle of a grand hall. Ooh, cool. It's like a Dark Souls boss room. And these would all come to life and start attacking you. High columns with flames carved into them. No. High columns with flames carved into them hold up the building. Adorning the stone walls are beautiful tiled mosaics. In the floor, yeah. There's one wall with some strange symbols scratched onto them. They're very faded and I have to squint to make them out. From what I can make out, 4 symbols surrounded darkness in a square with a line of fire enclosing the perimeter, trapping the darkness in the center. I wonder how that will come into play later. Huh, I wonder what... gonna scream. I wonder what this is. Amelia glances over and appears at the carving.
Those symbols represent each of the magical elements.
She points to each one.
There's fire, water, earth, and wind.
Then she points to the center. Darkness.
In that is shadow.
Shadow, right. Never considered shadow an element before.
It is one of the elemental magics.
You can always think of it as a primordial element. You know, that kind of thing. The void before existence. Although in some mythologies, the void is more actually an ocean, so it's more water itself is the abyss. Kara, Zach, and Liana have already moved on, so the rest of us hustle to catch up. By rest of us, you mean Amelia, myself, and the Pongo. Besides us, the only people in the temple are the monks who care for it. They're dressed in woven red robes in the same open and loose style as the villagers from Mist. Quietly, they shuffle back and forth, sweeping the floor or lighting any of the smaller fires which have burned low.
Hi.
What do you want? The Pongo looks around in wonder and reverence. At the side of the giant flame, he squeaks and hops upon me, claiming a spot on my shoulder. Kara bounds briefly before the large flame. Okay, well that's strangely reverent. I didn't expect that from her, so that's a point in her favor again. Or at least a point of interest, I should say. Then leads us back, because it could be an act. Leads us to the back of the chamber and stops in front of an empty wall.
We're here.
Nice gesture. Zach sighs. Well, duh. Secret passage? Kara might be a little out there, but I don't get the impression that she's stupid. There must be more to the wall that first meets the eye. Is there a mechanism hidden somewhere that triggers the doorway? Kara's eyes glitter.
Bingo!
Cool. Oh. With her gaze fixed on us, Kara pushes on a brick, and a segment of the wall pushes in and swings open. She waves at the opening with a flourish.
Ta-da!
How did you know which brick to push in? I can just imagine her searching through the temple, going over every brick in the building, trying to push it in for days.
It usually depends, but in this case, there's one brick that sticks out slightly more than the others.
Never mind.
If you weren't looking for it, you won't see it.
Okay, you tend to go under the assumption that people who built the temple just, well, in that case, I guess, yeah, they would have put every single one in effectively perfect alignment, near about as you can get. She heads to the opening and pushes the wall close behind us. Wait, oh. Yeah, okay. Then she leads us down a winding stone stairway which ends with the beginning of a narrow passage. We file in behind her as she carefully picks her way down the hall. Oh. Glowy glittery! Glowy glittery! Fire. So what's the blue then? It's a very plain stone hallway with light sconces lighting the way. And some crates. Can we loot them? I look down on my feet and notice a brick with an X marked on it. Duh. I think when this X didn't make its way onto the stone by itself. I better not touch it. And it probably isn't marking treasure. I'm guessing that's how Kara has been marking the traps that she's found. Gingerly, I step around the brick. A few feet away, I spot another X. It's like Minesweeper in here. Is anyone else seeing these random X's? Oh my god, are you stupid? Kara glances back.
I should hope so. I left those there so as not to set off the same traps again.
Same. So you found them by setting them off. That's typically not what a good rogue should do. A good rogue would probably be able to notice the traps some other way and either disarm them or set them off at a distance, assuming that they're a one-time thing, you know? Just bang and go and then it's, you know, done. Like hitting a tripwire or something. Whatever it does activates it and then it would have to be reset. And so long as you don't do that yourself, you're fine. And why would you? Makes sense. Didn't. Yes, it does, but apparently not as much to you as it does to me. We resume walking. The deeper we travel, the more X's I notice. There are a lot of traps in here. Zach pauses in front of a corridor where the walls are covered in X's.
Why are there so many X's on this wall?
Kara looks in the same passageway.
Oh, it's a two-part trap.
Oh. She points to the stone on the ground with the same X marking.
Basically, if you step on the ground stone, it triggers thick bars to shoot out from all the X's in the wall and block the path.
Or skewer you. That doesn't sound too bad. They skewer you.
Only if you know how to limbo. The bars have something keeping them hot and will burn you if you touch it.
Can't you just step over? Well, I mean, crawl under... Whatever. Okay, that sounds worse.
And you were able to cross that?
Let me guess. Something about being very flexible? Or that. Same difference. Fine.
I am very limber.
Nope, never mind. She actually said it. I expected Zach to brush off her comment like he brushed off every other girl, but he actually looks impressed. What part of him? Amelia looks between Zach and Kara.
Based on the dilation of Zach's pupils, it appears that Kara's flexibility is attractive to him.
Very good. Glad someone called him out. Zach is taken aback.
I was just thinking that it's a useful skill set to have.
Oh yeah, reach and flexibility. Garrus? Oh. Kara has a mischievous glint in her eyes.
Useful skill set to have. In what context?
Well, Zach, would you like to elaborate? Zach frowns.
For scouting and navigating, you've done a thorough job mapping this place out and marking the traps.
Spoil sport. Liana looks amused. Okay, never mind. Blech.
Zach, was that a compliment?
Yeah, but, I mean, he glares at Liana.
No, an observation.
Uh-huh. Stop that. Kara smiles playfully.
Then thank you for the observation.
Speaking of observation, I really need to... Zach falls into silence before turning away. I think that's the most I ever heard him talk in a 30-second span. I don't know. He's exposited before, I think. We continue from the tunnels. Eventually, she stomps in front of another well of fire in the middle of the hall.
The barrier's here.
She gestures to the swirling metallic wall behind the well. The way that it glitters as it wisps and curls almost looks like a fire. Leon and Amelia step closer and inch their hands in front of them before gingerly touching the barrier.
It's surprisingly solid for something that looks so gaseous. Maybe there's some wind magic interwoven with whatever other magic is here.
The Pongo humps forward with stars in his eyes. Just eat the magic.
Pie.
Eat the magic. He dashes straight for the barrier. Okay.
Pongo, wait!
I stitch on my arm and race after him. Pongo, no! Instead of running into the wall, the Pongo passes straight through it and out of sight. Why, cruel world? How did he go through? Stay calm. Okay, it's one of these two. How did he go through? Probably because he just ate the magic that would have harmed him. How is he able to get through if none of us can? Kara gapes wide out of the barrier.
I have no idea.
It's a Pongo, they eat magic. Everyone else but me an idiot.
No, Pongo!
Diana looks equally shocked, but for a completely different reason.
We have to find a way to save him. Who knows what could have happened to him when he went through?
After going through, sure, but never mind. She presses up against the barrier and calls out again.
Pongo? Pie?
A blue head pops out of the barrier. What? He humps the rest of the way out.
Pie, pie!
Uh-huh. Diana scoops him up in a hug.
Pongo, you're back safe.
Yeah, uh-huh.
Pie?
After a second, the Pongo wiggles out of her arms and rushes back over to me. Diana pouts and refocuses on the barrier. No, it's okay. Amelia places both of her hands back in the barrier while Liana holds out a manipulator.
Whatever is beyond this wall hosts a plethora of energy.
That's what it... Well, okay. Liana nods.
My manipulator confirms that. No wonder the Pongo ran in there.
Zack continues to hang back and observe, but Kara steps closer to the barrier.
But how did he even pass through?
Probably because he just eats magic. Liana shrugs. Amelia continues studying the wall, moving her hands up and down.
I do not recognize this magic.
She frowns, deeply disturbed.
Is there anything you can do to break it?
Let's see.
Liana and Amelia both put their hands in the barrier, their manipulators glowing. They transmit pulses of magic which disperse across the surface in a shimmering wave. I think they're trying to create a stress fracture to crack the wall. After a few tries, Liana sighs in frustration, her skirt still shaking. Mini skirt, I'm sorry. I should be more specific. Sighs in frustration and steps back.
Amelia, stand back.
She wordlessly obeys. Liana gathers energy at her gauntlet and strikes the barrier with an empowered strike. Suddenly, golden lettering forms in the barrier. Absolve your world to enter mine. What does that mean? Well, it doesn't sound as simple as speak friend and enter. No one answers. Amelia steps forward and focuses on the well of flickering flame.
If I am interpreting this message correctly, we must part with our most precious possession, our world, and throw it in the fire.
Ah. Liana nods thoughtfully.
Kind of like we're freeing ourselves.
I mean, you could also just think of it as tribute, but sure. Kara's face drains of color as she clutches at her pack.
Are you sure?
Yes.
We stand around awkwardly until Liana clears that. I guess that would also... Okay, never mind. That would make sense for how the Pongo do then. Pongo has no possession. So nothing... Yeah, it's an animal, basically. Like they said, like Amelia said. Pretty sure Liana said that, Pongo was the wild animal. We stand around awkwardly until Liana clears her throat.
If that's what we need to do, then it seems easy enough. I'll go first.
Yeah, you say that, but, I mean, what would you consider to be your most prized possession you have on you? Please let me go first. No, sure. I nod as Liana steps up to the fire. She reaches below her collar and slips a thin gold chain over her neck and throws it into the flames. Taking a deep breath, she steps straight to the barrier. It worked! I'll go next. I step to the fire. What do I choose? The Pongo. No. Wallet, playing cards. This is like Genshin Impact and the fucking emergency rations. No. Wallet, playing cards. My what? Fuck off. I swear to God, if that's the right answer, I'm gonna smash the wall. Wallet or playing cards? I don't actually know. Wallet, maybe? I'm gonna guess wallet. I fished in my pockets and grabbed my wallet. My entire identity's in here. My license, student ID, credit cards. Oh, part of me that makes my chest hurt. Oh no, all things you can just get replaced. Reluctantly, I toss it into the fire and watch as the flames lap up the, damn, what's the word I'm trying to think of? The very shallow definition of who you are as a person. Then I steel my resolve and slowly step forward. As I cross through and I feel the tingle of energy and hear the crackle of electricity. There's a bright light blinding my vision, and I have a flashback of my crossing to Terra. My foot lands on solid ground. I pass the barrier unharmed.